On tonight's Inside Out, we are in Stratford-upon-Avon, birthplace of William Shakespeare and centre stage of great British acting. And we're not the only ones who are recognising the breadth of talent coming out of this region. Later on, we go behind the scenes at a remarkable Midlands drama school, whose young actors are catching the eye of Hollywood royalty.
He's tough and he's full of heart and he's connected to his family and his roots.
Also on tonight's show, Justice for Jeff. The family of the football hero, West Brom's Jeff Astor, said their campaign to make the game safer is finally getting the support it deserves.
It's a horrible illness, and I live with a stranger because it changed him in every way, from being laughing, joking, outgoing.
I'm Andy Akinwolere, and this is Inside Out West Midlands. First tonight, self-confessed tanning addict Laura May McMullan last year was diagnosed with skin cancer. It has been a long road to recovery, and she has bravely agreed to share her story with us in the hope that it will persuade others from going on the sunbed.
When I got the news, I felt sick to the pit of my stomach, really, and I remember just holding the pen and I started to shake because your life is totally just turned upside down.
You might recognise Laura May McMullan as a reporter from BBC Midlands Today, but there's a part of her life you won't know. For years, she was addicted to tanning.
I just loved like being brown.
Holidays were spent baking in the sun, and most days she'd top up her tan on sunbeds. That was until this time last year, when she was diagnosed with malignant melanoma, a type of skin cancer.
I've gone from being a bubbly, outgoing, sort of sparkly person to one that kind of, I lost my confidence because you're constantly thinking, am I going to be here? And it's like the most frightening time of your life.
After all she's experienced, Laura wants people to take better care of their skin. People like Jess. The young mom from Stoke-on-Trent loves being brown and can't keep off the sunbeds. She even works in a tanning shop.
I use them about twice, 3 times a week because I like to feel brown and it makes me feel good about myself, so that's why I use them.
Do you think about the damage you're doing?
Obviously I use them at my own risk. I do know what they can do to you, but I've never really thought about it, really.
It was the same for Laura, but she wants to give Jess the benefit of her experience.
Jess is just like me when I was 19, wanting to be brown. Every day in the UK there's 2 15 to 34-year-olds that are diagnosed, and I'm determined, you know, I don't want Jess to be one of them.
There are around 3,000 tanning shops in the UK, and they are regulated. The Sunbed Association recommends people limit their visits to about once a week, but Laura's worried Jess is overdoing it, just like she did. To prove her point, they're going to see the consultant who treated Laura's cancer.
I always feel quite nervous when I come here, and you know, it's at the same time though it's quite reassuring.
The Christie in Manchester treats more than 40,000 patients a year, including Laura.
Hello. Good morning. Oh, nice.
Mr. Udit is Laura's consultant. Jess wants to hear what he thinks about sunbeds.
You know, are you seeing an increase in melanoma, say compared to like 5-10 years ago?
There's certainly an increase in melanoma. And especially in the younger age groups. On average, more than 11,000 new cases of malignant melanoma diagnosed in the UK per year, and significantly, just over 2,000 of these patients die per year. I would like to see sunbeds banned because the ultraviolet radiation has a significant risk of patients developing melanoma.
But the Sunbed Association disagree. It insists the industry is properly regulated and safe.
When professional sunbeds are tested in isolation, there is no link between sunbed use and malignant melanoma. Part of the Sunbed Association Code of Practice is that people should not use a sunbed more than 60 times a year, Therefore, that's approximately 1 a week. An average sunbed session is about 10 minutes, so over the year that's 10 hours exposure to UV. Well, some people could do that over 2 days on holiday.
Because of her job, Jess is familiar with sunbed regulations. But what does she think after her chat with Laura's consultant?
I'm really scared. Now I've listened to all that. It's definitely an eye-opener. Yeah, definitely changing my mind about the old sunbed situation.
She's over the worst, but Laura still finds it difficult to explain why she was so attracted to tanning, even to her mum Janice.
That I think that looks like me. Yeah. And I don't think that I look like me pale.
No.
Which might sound strange to some people, but what did you think when I was coming back being that brown?
Too brown. I thought, in years to come, poor Laura's going to suffer with the skin.
Laura still likes to be brown, but now only uses fake tan. And when the sun's out, she covers up.
I wouldn't want one single person to go through what I've gone through.
It's been a few days since they last met, and Laura wants to find out if Jess is coming round to her way of thinking. She's got something else to show her.
I've brought you to Staffordshire University today to show you, if you do carry on tanning, what the effects might be. So, how are you feeling?
A bit nervous, but excited.
Dr. Alison Owen is going to use a computer program to simulate how Jess's skin could age if she doesn't change her tanning habits.
So the software is based on the ageing of 7,000 people. They looked at people of different nationalities, people of different ages, and looked at the development of ageing to come up with sort of just an average ageing process.
Jess is about to see how she might look at 72.
So on the left-hand side of the screen, it's going to show you with that natural intrinsic ageing that will happen. You know, whatever we do, we all age. And on the right-hand side of the screen, it's going to be how you'll age if you do continue to use sunbeds.
Oh my God. Ooh. That's a huge difference, isn't it? Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is really nasty.
Oh. What do you think of that then, Jess?
Awful. I don't want to be looking like that when I'm older.
Jess may not like what the future might have in store for her, but what about the damage she's doing now? Laura's taking her to a skin clinic to find out.
You'll be relieved to know, Jess, that this is the last point in our journey. So, should we go in and get your skin tested? Yeah.
An ultraviolet scan will show Jess what's going on under the top layer of her skin.
So you can see the difference between the two of them. You've got quite a lot around the forehead and the middle here, where it's a lot darker than the rest of your skin, and that is showing signs of sun damage.
She's only 19, but it's clear Jess has already done some damage.
I'm quite concerned, really, and it's a big difference, isn't it, when you actually see into your skin.
How do you feel about coming off the sunbeds?
I'm quite positive about doing it, actually, because I don't want it to get any worse.
Sounds like Laura's getting through to Jess, but she wants to know more about the Sunbed Association's position.
I've got a lot of confidence in the vast majority of the British people who use a sunbed responsibly, happily, and will never have any detrimental effect. If you isolate the very few people that overdo something, whatever it is, of course I'm concerned about them. They need help, advice and education, and my members are there to provide that.
So Gary Littman's members are trained to spot tanning addicts, but membership is voluntary and it can only speak for 20% of the UK's salons.
I have to say, those hundreds of melanoma surgeons all across the world, they can't be wrong when they say that melanoma can be caused by overusing sunbeds.
You're using the word can and you're using the word overuse. What we are talking about is responsible use of a sunbed. As with alcohol, too much is a bad thing.
So he's confident there's such a thing as a safe tan. It's time to find out if Jess is too.
It's been a real eye-opener then, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised at some of the things that we found out, but have I convinced you to stop using sunbeds?
Yeah, definitely. My mind has completely changed about them, and I don't want to be one of them people that have got to go through with things like skin cancer, so definitely stop.
Well, I'm really proud of you, so I suggest let's go and get a fake tan instead, eh?
I'm sure you'll all be glad to know that since filming, Jess has not been on a sunbed and has even ditched her job in a tanning shop for a new life as a carer. Now, if you like any of the stuff you see on Inside Out, why don't you follow us on Twitter at BBCIOWM, and don't forget to head over to the Midlands Today Facebook page where you can see previews of our films.